Hey everyone, Steven here with Team Euphoric, and today I'm going to be taking Michael through a strengthening exercise for the gluteus medius muscle, and more specifically, we are going to be targeting the superficial fibers and the antero-posterior fibers of the gluteus medius muscle. In terms of the setup position, we're going to be in a side-lying position. You can take your bottom arm and rest it underneath your head so you're nice and comfortable. Now that that's all set up, we're going to set up the lower extremity. Michael's going to flex his hip and knee of the bottom leg, and he's going to grab a hold of his knee or tibia with the top arm to maintain retroversion of the pelvis. From here, we're going to set up the spine, so I want Michael to maintain a nice flat lumbar spine, flat thoracic spine. He's going to keep his chin tucked in. With the crown of his head, he's pushing away from his body, and with his eyes, he's looking down between his thighs to put the dura mater under tension. Next, we're going to set up the working limb. Because we are doing the antero-posterior fibers, we want to flex the hip to 67.5 degrees. If you're not sure where that is, it's halfway between 45 and 90. So Michael has his setup position in the lower extremity. Next, what we want to do is, because we're targeting the gluteus medius, we want to maintain some slight flexion in the knee to release the tension on the tensor fasciae lati muscle and get maximum recruitment of the gluteus medius muscle. And because we're targeting the superficial fibers, we want to go into pseudo-inversion of the ankle. So Michael's going to dorsiflex his ankle by pointing his toes toward his head, and he's going to invert his ankle by pointing the sole of his foot down toward the ground. Now that we're all set up, all that's left is the execution. For the execution, Michael is going to go into pure abduction of the femur. So he's going to drive his heel up toward the sky as high as he can, and he wants to go as high as he can without losing the vertical pelvis. That's very important. You don't want to rotate the pelvis forward or backward. You want to make sure that it remains vertical. And at the femur, you want to maintain a neutral femur. You are going into pure abduction. You don't want to have any component of medial or lateral rotation. But that is the strengthening exercise, and in terms of the sets and repetitions, what you would want to do is build up to 3 sets of 50 repetitions. That's 5-0, not 1-5. And if you don't want to count to 50, you can take a stopwatch, time it for 1 minute, and if you do 1 repetition per second, that'll take you to that 50 to 60 repetition rep range. But that was the strengthening exercise for the gluteus medius muscle, and more specifically, the superficial fibers and the antero-posterior fibers of the gluteus medius muscle.